Alrighty, guys. Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Fitzone TV here, aka GLauren33, and I'm back today with another video on the channel for you guys. So today we're talking about MCU. We're talking about Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we got some news to talk about. And we're talking about potentially Avengers 4. We're still coming up. The hype. Avengers Infinity War has been out for about a month now, and it's getting close to hitting 2 billion globally. And it's huge. It's very, very, very huge. But now everyone's already getting ready for what's it called? Uh, Avengers 4. Even though we have less than a year away, we still got about 11 months to get to that. But you know, um, we do got to get ready for that. We do have Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out in July, but we also got Captain Marvel coming up before that. But this is what we gotta talk about. So basically, we're gonna go first. We're gonna talk about Avengers 4, and then we're gonna talk about Spider-Man. If you guys can see by the title, basically it's about Spider-Man Homecoming sequel. Spider-Man Field Trip might be. Excuse me, I gotta scratch my back. But it looks like Spider-Man Field Trip may be the name for the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel. Even though it's not confirmed, we do have some news on potential, but actually from a credible source, what could be Spider-Man 4 and the potential plot and spoilers for the movie itself. So if you don't want to be spoiled for possibly Avengers 4 or Spider-Man Field Trip, even though these things aren't confirmed yet, there's a probable chance based on the argument that this could actually happen in these two big Marvel movies, one that will close out Phase 3 and push us into Phase 4 of the MCU. All right, but let's get straight into the news. So we have Avengers 4 coming out next year, and basically this all has to do with Tony Stark. All right, Tony Stark, if you guys didn't know, my two favorite superheroes in the MCU are T'Challa / Black Panther and Tony Stark / Iron Man. All right, huge fan of both those heroes because I love Robert Downey Jr. I love the way he's played the character in the last decade. But basically, we know that Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man Homecoming sequel, is supposed to be set right after the events of Avengers 4. If you guys know, Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man movie is supposed to come out only 2 months after Infinity War releases. Kind of like what they're doing right now with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out 2 months after Infinity War. And basically it would let us know where Ant-Man was or is during this time. Basically, I got another notification. Let me check this out real quick. All right. Basically, what happens is we know that Spider-Man, spoiler, if you guys haven't seen the movie, but you guys should have seen the movie by now. At the end of Infinity War, we know when Thanos snaps and erases half of humanity, basically we know that Spider-Man, who had the saddest death scene, one of the saddest death scenes I've ever seen, probably the saddest death scene in the whole MCU, we know that Spider-Man disappears. All right, not disappear, but he basically dies. He's turned to ash. All right, but basically, we do know that Avengers 4, that Tony Stark is still alive. All right, we know that most of the original Avengers are still alive, and now they have to conduct a plan on how to reverse the events of Infinity War, put everything back in the order, and basically save humanity from Thanos. All right, even though Thanos has won at this point. So basically, what we know, basically this is from a Reddit website. This is from a hairbanger of stuff. All right, basically he's been known for putting out credible Marvel spoilers and for other movies in the past. All right, basically we know that Spider-Man, the next sequel, is based after Avengers 4. That basically what happened is Peter is revived. Probably that means everyone else that was dead or killed off at the end of Infinity War will return. So like Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, Bucky Barnes, Falcon, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot, all of them should be coming back, basically. And that's also, we kind of had an idea like that because if you remember, or if you haven't known, Dave Bautista, who plays Drax, a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, who was erased in Infinity War, basically said that he's confirmed to be somewhere in Avengers 4, and he's also confirmed to be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which comes out in 2020. All right. But we know that basically what it says is after Avengers 4, Peter is revived after those events. So basically Thanos should be defeated. All right. And it appears that Tony Stark will indeed die. And throughout the movie, Peter will be mourning his death. All right. Which is sad, but it's kind of, we have to see this coming. All right. We probably Tony and Steve Rogers, Captain America, are probably both going to sacrifice themselves in the final battle with Thanos in Avengers 4, which will probably mark the end of their stories. Thor, we have no idea because there's still rumors out that maybe there could be a fourth Thor movie. We're not sure. So maybe Thor does survive, but we're not sure yet. So basically that confirms that basically Tony Stark will die. Based on this report, nothing's been confirmed, but most people already believe that Tony and Captain America will be dying in Avengers 4, ending their stories. Like, they will actually die for good. They won't be coming back. But Anthony Russo, which is one of the directors for Infinity War and Avengers 4, said this: there's a real commitment on these stakes. So we know how high the stakes are in this movie. And they're saying if someone dies, they plan that to be dead. Well, if they reverse all the deaths from Infinity War, that kind of ruins that. And yes, this is a fantasy world. Even though this is an MCU, this is a universe. Remember, this is a fantasy world that's put on for TV. All right. Basically, this could be what this document's reading, because I'm also reading it at the same time as I'm explaining it to you. What it could mean is that Tony is sacrificing himself in Spider-Man's place. So that represents maybe the stake being put. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they had Spider-Man die in Infinity War. But that basically what part of the plot is, basically Kevin Feige, who is the director of Marvel Studios. Basically, what he said is that the sequel for Spider-Man Homecoming basically would involve Spider-Man and his friends and most of the characters that we got introduced to with Aunt May, all of them basically taking it overseas. This Spider-Man movie wouldn't be set in New York, but it would be set overseas as a new adventure. All right? Because there has been rumors that possibly in Phase 4, Phase 5, as Spider-Man and Black Panther will probably be the two leaders of the MCU going forward, with MCU's moving past and establishing the legacies of Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, the original Avengers. Basically, that these new heroes like Black Panther, the Winter Soldier, Spider-Man will be the new leaders of the Avengers and the new face of the MCU going forward. All right, that's why we've seen such character development, these new characters throughout Civil War, their first solo movies, and so on. But basically, what the document says is that basically Peter Parker and his friends are on some kind of field trip, hence the name Spider-Man Field Trip. Even though the name hasn't been confirmed yet, we'll get official confirmation by Marvel probably at the end of the year. All right. Basically, the sequel's plot is going to involve an invention of Tony Stark. All right, because we know basically one thing that's been pushed hard is that Tony has been working very, very hard, to fight. All right, he knew something's been coming ever since the original Battle of New York and the first Avengers movie in 2012. He's been basically working ever since then. That's kind of the reason why Ultron was made. That's one of the reasons why he signed the Accord. Right, basically, he's been trying to do everything in his power so that he can keep the Earth safe. That's his mission in life. That's what he sees. All right, because he sees that there's bigger threats all the way out in space. And basically, he knows that if one day he died and his time does come up as Iron Man dies, that um, he can go into the future or he can go into death, knowing that there's people in place, there's things in place to continue his legacy and keep the Earth safe for years and years to come. So basically, what this happens is there are some, possibly the rumor location is that maybe a Stark Expo um, International or some kind of Stark Industries um, event that's taking place overseas, and basically that it has to do with a invention of Iron Man's making, so that his legacy will move on. There's also rumors that Pepper Pliers, who has been Tony Stark's love interest throughout their entire time in the MCU, all the way back from the first Iron Man movie, will be involved. So hopefully, we still don't know if she was killed in the snap of Thanos in Infinity War. We'll definitely find that out in Avengers for what happened to Pepper. But basically, basically saying it will take place in London. Peter and his friends are there for a conference sponsored by Stark Industries. MJ, Ned, Liz, Flash, and Aunt May are returning alongside the Midtown students and staff from Homecoming. So basically, that's where we got there. Let me see if there's any other important info. No, that's about it. Basically, so we know this. They're saying that Vulture, which was the main villain of Homecoming, plus there's some other unknown villains that will be coming, and their goal is not for Spider-Man, but they're going for this invention of Stark. They want to steal Stark's technology because Stark was one of the smartest people on the planet, along with Sherry and all these other inspectors like Mark Ruffalo, not Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner, my bad. And basically, there's a lot of smart artists, not artists, inventors, my bad. Getting a lot of words, inventors that have this genius. But Tony Stark was one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. Excuse me. And basically, these new villains want to get ahead. They want to get a hold of his technology now that supposedly, if Tony actually does die in Avengers 4, that they feel like now that may be easier to get to his technology. Because we know that Tony is definitely going to have stuff in place so that if or when he dies eventually from the MCU, if there's an Avengers 4, because right now he's not confirmed to being in the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel. Maybe he'll make a cameo, or maybe he pre-recorded some footage for the movie. We'll have to wait and see. But right now he's not slated to be in the movie, have an official role. But basically, the plot is centered around him with these new villains that are going after his technology. And since he's not there to really protect it, who will be there? Maybe Spider-Man, possibly, because we know Spider-Man looked up to Tony kind of like a father figure in a way, even though he didn't see him as an actual father, but he looked up to him. He admired him. All right. And we know if Tony actually does die in Avengers 4, that's going to have a huge toll on Peter for the rest of his life, because he looked up. He always wanted to be an Avenger, and now he actually went on a couple of Avengers. He went on a couple adventures with his actual hero, Tony Stark, and now unfortunately it looks like Tony's story coming to an end, and that will lead Spider-Man into his future story, as he will become one of the faces of the MCU going forward. One of the things we know that this Spider-Man movie will set up is potentially on the Sinister Six, which is basically a collection of six of arguably the six biggest villains from the Spider-Man comics. We know the Spider-Man manga, Spider-Man's biggest enemies from the comics, and they could be how they come together basically to try to stop Spider-Man and take over the world, do their own evil dishing. And that's what a lot of people believe this is what they're going to set up, even though Marvel hasn't confirmed any of this yet. But it could set up this in the future, possibly for a third, because I honestly see they're most likely going to do probably like 4 Spider-Man movies. We're already getting a second one, and Spider-Man Homecoming just legit came out 2 years ago, and they're already planning the next Spider-Man movie. Plus, we'll see Spider-Man in future Avengers films or whatever, if they decide to continue the Avengers franchise or just change into something else. All right, but that's about all I got for you guys today. That's all. I know I gave you guys a lot of info there. That's a lot to dive in. There's a lot going on for the MCU right now. As I said, we're getting ready for Ant-Man and the Wasp. We got Captain Marvel. We're still, trying to, wrap our head about everything that happened in Infinity War. And then we have Avengers 4 coming out next year. And then we have the Spider-Man sequel. Then we got the Black Panther sequel, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. There's a lot of stuff going on. And the MCU is crazy right now, but it's also very exciting to see. All right, but that is about all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed all the little news I got for you guys here. And I'll see you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll try to update you guys anytime we get some new news on what's going on in the MCU. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day, guys. Peace.